Hey everybody, welcome back to the video on my channel. If you're new here, I'm Mike. Welcome. Today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about setting boundaries with narcissistic creatures. After you've gotten out of the fog, after you've gotten out of that narcissistic abusive relationship or that toxic person you've severed ties with, hopefully you learned by now that, drawing a fine line in the sand and saying no and going no contact is indeed the best way forward. But before I get any further into this video, if this content resonates with you or you can relate to it, please like, smash the thumbs up, comment down below your thoughts and opinions and wisdom, and please subscribe. Thank you very much. Let's get into it. Now, as I was saying, post-narcissistic abusive relationship, I have more than one time on this channel said that we have to keep stock in what was in that relationship. You knew that it was a toxic hellhole, but another part of you was saying, no, let's keep ignoring the red flags, or let's just tolerate it for a little bit further, maybe for the sake of the kids, or maybe for the sake of that relationship in question, which was just destined to die at any moment. But post-narcissistic abusive relationship, you've decided that enough is enough. Hopefully you've learned by now, at least by now I have, that, you can't change anybody. Notwithstanding a narcissist, these people cannot change. These creatures, I often refer to them as creatures, not people. They are not people in my eyes. They are nothing but demonic, evil creatures hell-bent on destroying the lives of others, and that's no exaggeration. All the physical abuse, even, some of you may have experienced that, some might not have, but I did. Emotional abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, psychological abuse, verbal abuse, financial abuse. I could keep going. And I'm sure you guys have a lot to extrapolate on too. Let me know in the comments what you've had to experience and help others along the way, if you so choose. It would be greatly appreciated. But getting back on track, you've created healthy boundaries. Once you've discovered someone is a narcissist, or someone is toxic, or someone is just not there, mentally. Now, I know that we all are not perfect, but when you can't, let's put it this way, scratch that. Talking or reasoning with a narcissist, and I'm not talking about to a narcissist, talking to a narcissist or talking down upon them. I'm sure that in those stages, the early stages that you were in, you were constantly being treated like a doormat, an ATM machine maybe, a human punching bag, both literally and figuratively. But now we've said no more. And we also expect, higher expectations for other people, higher standards, if you will, for other people. And we're not in any rush to get into any new relationship with anybody, even once we've vetted them and met them and gone through all the processes involved, that this person is good, well-intentioned, is reciprocal, everything that you've never gotten with a narcissist. But getting back on track real quick, this is part of the boundaries that you have to draw after leaving that toxic person, or the other way around, whether they chucked you outside the window, figuratively speaking, the discard, or maybe you've had it up to here with them and you weren't going to deal with their stonewalling, the silent treatment, the psychological abuse, the emotional abuse, and you just said, I can't work with somebody who's treating me like I'm nobody. There's so many fish in the sea out here, of all demographics, of all backgrounds, of all experiences felt globally. Narcissism is more prevalent than one might think. That's why I stress the importance of taking heed and, not dwelling over the relationship. I don't mean ruminating over it or whatever it was. I mean processing it for what it was and using these God-given learning lessons to move on and repeat, not let yourself repeat the same mistakes ever again, if that makes sense. Now, once you've done that, you might find yourself questioning, oh, is this person a narcissist? Is everybody from my past a narcissist? You start looking back and you start, I don't want to say ruminating, but you start thinking back on your childhood, your middle years and your older years and whatnot whatever have you. And you start going over, oh yeah, my friend was, this hits right near dear home for me, that this person is a two-faced narcissist the whole entire time. They weren't really my friend. Or maybe you thought that way of a family member. Oh, this makes sense now. No wonder why they acted the way they did. Of course, because the narcissist only cares about themselves. Speaking as somebody who comes from an estranged family, an alcoholic one, on one side of the family, I drop that toxicity. I move on with my life without them. And this is where I'll get into with the boundaries, no matter if it's family or not, you may or may not receive a Hoover. And real quick, what is a Hoover? A Hoover is when the narcissist tries to suck you back into that relationship for another round of abuse, or they think you haven't healed. Okay? And just think of, the Hoover vacuum cleaner. The narcissist wants to suck you back in like a vacuum cleaner. And that's exactly what they probably did to you. They sucked up all your resources, emotionally, financially, mentally, physically even. They took a major toll on your health, or, new ailments came along the way, like you started losing weight, or, you became more antsy. You weren't completely calm. Perhaps your mind wasn't in the right place. That's how a majority of these relationships start in the first place, the trauma bond. You think that, you're in that, you think that you found the person, the person. But that person is not the narcissist. They put on a facade for you. They told you everything that you wanted to hear in the beginning, like they weren't really this person, or they weren't really that person, or they thought a certain way, much like you did, when their actions proved otherwise. That, like take for example, like, I'll call you later, they never would, or it would always be one standard for them, but not for you. Like, they could call you any time of the day or night. Meanwhile, like, if you got discharged from the hospital, they won't even answer your phone for 2 minutes, let alone, going to a doctor's appointment. That's where, that's what got me mad. And I didn't, lash out at anybody. I'm just saying that was a straw that broke the camel's back for me. It's like, once you start walking all over me, I have to set draw a boundary now, because I'm not going to be taken for an idiot, neither should you. So you create these boundaries by going no contact. If you can't go no contact, full no contact, go gray rock. Whatever you have to do, until you get your stuff sorted out with the kids, with the assets, with the home and everything else, what you might be dealing with. Or if it's in the workplace, you do what you can, you keep it to business only, and when your time comes, you find an exit plan somehow, some way, shape, or form. These are the solutions, long-term solutions to temporary problems. The narcissist only sees, problems as, black or white. It's never, everything is just so drastic with them. So if you critique them in any way, shape, or form, you say, I feel like I'm not being treated right now, like in the right way. I'm doing everything, to help you or try to help you, and you just fight me tooth and nail. What's going on here? And they'd probably give you some line of, a word salad. It could be anything, like, I told you I appreciate it, or, they try to undermine, like, oh, you know, you don't really do as much as you say that you do, things like that. But once you know within your heart that these things are not true, and that the narcissist, they haven't walked a day in your shoes, they haven't known you your whole life, at least not in the family dynamic. But whenever you get somebody projecting their woes, their insecurities, their problems, okay, onto you, and you're just expected to be sitting there like a human punching bag, that's where you got to draw a fine line in the sand and kick these people out of your life. Okay, you don't call them out. As I said, you don't talk down upon them. You try to talk with them at first, and then when all else fails, they resist therapy. They often resist therapy, like whether they seek it out themselves, or more likely than not, they were pushed there by, you know, not their own accord, but per someone else's advice, maybe yours or another member of their family or their friend group. I don't know, and I don't care anymore about the narcissists, but they have a whole lot of growth and healing and introspection to do. Unlike us, we've, you know, it took a mountain of work, at least for me, all these mental gymnastics that I've had to process. And, you know, you think to yourself, how can someone just do this to somebody? Treat somebody like this, whether they're family or not. Like, how cold-hearted do you have to be? And then they put on this facade for the rest of the world as if they're so angelic and they can absolutely do no wrong. Well, we all know that the narcissist wears a mask, or they wear their clown paint on their face, red nose, the wig and all. And they just put on a performance for you, and perhaps a new supply, which you shouldn't even be worrying about. And why is that? Because the new supply is either old supply or otherwise someone who doesn't know any better. So it's not your business anymore what, you know, is concerning the narcissist and not you once you've got no contact. Drawing boundaries, drawing fine, healthy boundaries, bold boundaries that can be seen, felt, and heard. And that's why the narcissist hoovers a lot, because, you know, when they don't get what they want, or they didn't get around to discarding you, or they feel they can just sense that you've moved on, but they want to just test your limit or push your buttons anyway. That's why I say don't accept the hoover. Resist any and all attempts at communication via the narcissist to you, okay? So before I wrap this video, I'm just going to conclude with this. You know, you don't have to feel paranoid all the time, but what you should be feeling, you know, think about all the accomplishments you've reached along the way, all the speed bumps, all the restless nights, all the hurdles along the way. And I got wonderful sleep last night. It's beautiful outside. It's one of the last days of summer. I don't know, we got like a month left, but you live for the moment, or in the moment. Or let me reword this. You live in the moment. The narcissist lives for the moment, with you or with somebody else, until they use them up and throw them out into the narcissistic waste bin. I'm sorry to put it like that, but that's just the truth. So you got to take stock in these learning lessons, so, you know, you don't ever go through that again. We had to go through it in order to get through it. And this has only made us stronger, more resilient. And this is why we don't take crap from anybody anymore, narcissist or not. When we see a toxic person, we run. Figuratively speaking, but do what you gotta do to get yourself out of there. So I'm just gonna wrap up this video right now. I hope that this was useful. I'll make another video again soon, in the not so distant future. Guys, if you like this content, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Mike, signing out. Take care. Goodbye.